Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, another pickups video. I was actually working on a couple more videos, but these pickups keep coming, so I gotta keep you guys laced up with information on the games I pick up. So let's get right into it. Alright, the first game we're going to look at is World War Z Aftermath. So if you guys don't know about the World War Z games, they're very similar to games like Left 4 Dead, just without the motion sickness. These are third-person shooter games, and now they're actually first-person shooter because they added that feature in this new version of the game. And if you have the original version of the game, you can also download this pack. I'm trying very hard to get Joel and my other friends to play it. Well, to kind of replace this game as our go-to game because our go-to game right now is actually Dead by Daylight, and I'm fucking tired of that game, man. It's too much hiding and running, man. I want to fight back. So trying to get those guys to get more into this game. Hopefully that will happen. Hopefully you guys can help me out. But anyways, this game is co-op fun at its finest. I really like this game, and I love that it adds the 2 new episodes you could try out. I feel like the game is well rounded now with what's added to the game. But anyways, guys, if you haven't played this game, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. I feel like it's better than the old school Left 4 Dead. I just feel like it just has a lot more to offer. But anyways, guys, if you haven't picked this one up yet, definitely keep it on your radar.
This cold is killing me. Need to find heat.
Hazmat suit is on the ground.
Aya, we at the waypoint. What do we do?
Now here's a look at Earth's Dawn. I actually owned this game quite a few years ago, and I saw it again for 10 bucks. This kind of reminds me of Odin's Sphere in a way, just with the gameplay, I would say, but the story obviously totally different. And most people call this game like a low budget Odin's Sphere. I mean, I think it holds well on its own with crazy combos and stuff like that, but really up for you guys to decide. So anyways, this is the only physical copy that I know of for this game. I know it recently, well, maybe about a year ago, it came out on Switch, but the physical copy is only existent as of right now, at least as I know, on the PS4, and it's pretty cheap. Now, pretty much when you play this game, you customize your character and you take other party members with you. And it's like you're all running together, but as soon as the battle starts, they disappear and you're fighting the boss or whatever you're fighting one-on-one pretty much. So I don't like that aspect. I wish you could have everybody on the screen do all kind of crazy combos and stuff like that, but maybe the game just wasn't designed for that, so it's all good. But anyways, still think it's a decent game. If you see it for around 10 bucks, definitely pick this one up. The Incredible Hulk. I'm not sure if this was related to the 2 movies that came out, at least the 2 movies that I know of, but this is an isometric adventure game where you pretty much go around just beating up General Ross's soldiers. Not really too much special about this game. I did like the box that this game came in. It actually comes, if you open it up, there's like a little comic inside, which is really cool. But this game feels like it's very similar to the way it looks and feels like The Sound of Thunder, if you've ever played that game on the Game Boy Advance. But either way, if you're a fan of the series, you might want to check this one out, but I'm not sure if you're going to really like it that much because it seems like it's just kind of like the same levels over and over again. But then again, I only played like the first 20 minutes so far, so maybe it'll get better later on. Next up we have Shing. This is a modern beat 'em up, and this game is really cool, but just before I go into it a little bit, make sure that you really study the tutorial in this game, because this game is very, what I want to say, just you can, all the buttons do something, I would say. So you just want to make sure you know what you're doing in this game, because certain moments you have to get through a door, you have to do a certain thing, and you might forget it, because most beat 'em ups are kind of like what we want to say are simplistic, pretty much. You know, a couple buttons here and there, just remember those 3 or 4 buttons, you're good to go. This game utilizes damn near all the buttons on the Switch controller, so just want to put that out there. But this is a cool game. Now, I'm not sure if you can unlock any characters in this game, but I know from the start you're going to start with at least 4 characters. And during the gameplay, if you're playing like solo, you can switch between these characters, which is really cool. So you're pretty much kind of utilizing all the characters in the game, getting a good feel for them, which is awesome. But I was really hoping that this game was online, because you know you don't get that many beat 'em ups online, at least modern ones, for what I've seen. But this game has a lot of potential, guys, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So the game has around 8 stages, but I'm not really sure yet. I'm only on the 3rd stage, but I think I read somewhere that said it had 8 stages, which is pretty good. So definitely a lot to look into with this game. So I actually got this from Pixel Heart Games. They're a really cool company in Europe, and definitely you guys should check out some of their products. Tanuki Justice is an awesome arcade platform game that's just really a throwback to games like, you guys probably never heard this game. I know John Riggs heard this game, of course. Kid Nicky, very reminiscent of stuff like that. So as you can see, 8-bit graphics, very arcadey. It has drop in and out co-op, which is really cool. So if you're playing the game, somebody wants to play it with you, they can just join you, which is really cool. Just really a lot of fun. You're gonna be mashing that button pretty fast to try to pull off certain combos to beat enemies and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, this is definitely one you should put on your radar, especially if you're a fan of 8-bit like arcade games, I would say. So while I was at GameStop picking up World War Z, I usually look for PS3 and 360 games, Wii games, and stuff like that. I had to go to a different location to find a copy of it, and at that location, I found Gears of War Judgment. Now, the Gears of War series, very fun action game, just pretty much like shooting all around, craziness, stuff blowing up. It's great stuff. But Judgment was always the one that kind of eluded me. I played Gears of War 2, and I got about halfway through it before I stopped playing it. I beat the 3rd one, thought it was really good, but I never played this one, so looking forward to trying this one out. But if you guys have played it, let me know how it compares to the other 3, or the previous 3 before it came out. Miss Pacman Maze Madness was released for pretty much everything back when it first came out. N64, PlayStation 1, I think Dreamcast, just all over the place. So the Game Boy Advance version, pretty much the same as those versions, but this one has like weird, well, I don't think they were able to utilize the sound chip for the Game Boy Advance, so the sounds kind of like just very mono and airy, but still, the game is actually pretty cool. It's Pac-Man is Pac-Man pretty much. They're very universal games. I mean, they follow the formula from each game. This one adds like somewhat puzzles you have to like kind of do during the match to makes it pretty much entertaining, I would say. But for the most part, it is Pac-Man, and it's a good looking one. I played Super Mario 3D Land probably back when it first came out, and I really liked the game, but I wasn't really into the 3DS back then, so I kind of passed it up. Recently, I was at a store and I saw it for, I think it was going for around 20 bucks in the case at GameStop. So I used my discount and my store credit and I picked it up. These games are really a lot of fun. One of my good friends, Cag, always talks about this game, says it's like one of the best Mario games out there, and I kind of agree with him. I mean, they really went all out with this one. I may not talk about Mario games much, but they are a lot of fun. I'll give them that. So, wanted to pick this one up and go through it. So, let me know how you guys feel about this one. I did a trade with my buddy Gerald and I got Oddworld Strangers Wrath HD for the Vita. This game originally came out on a 360 and it plays a lot differently from a lot of the Oddworld games where they're mostly like puzzle based. This one is like a 3D shooter where you can pretty much go where you want to go in a kind of like in a sandbox way. In this game, you're pretty much a bounty hunter and you're hunting down like wanted monsters and stuff like that, bringing them back for rewards. And there's one certain one that you're trying to get that's like impossible to find. So if you played this game, definitely in the comments let me know what you think about it. Killer Queen Black is another game me and my buddy Gerald did a trade for. He said this was a good game, and I've heard a lot of good things about this game. It says, kill the enemy queen, collect all the berries, ride the snail home. From what Joel told me about this game, he said this game is most fun with multiple players. So if you're playing solo, it's not that great, but if you get some people to play with you online, it's good to go. So I'll look forward to this one, but you guys let me know what you think about this one because I have no idea what I'm hopping into. And next up we have Road Rash Jailbreak. This is one of the last Road Rash games released, and I think it did a good job capturing the feel of the original game. So pretty much the goal in this game is to pretty much get to the finish line first place without being caught by the cops. And the cops are relentless in this game. They try to knock you off the road, and if you fall off your bike and you fall in front of a cop, that's pretty much it. Well, no, that's not it, because you try to run to get to your bike, but if your bike takes too much damage from the race, it'll blow up, and if the cop comes up, that's pretty much it for you, so you're busted. So pretty entertaining game, has an arcade feel to it, just like the original Genesis game. So if you haven't played this one yet, I implore people to try this one out. But I do want to say this is the weaker version of its counterpart from the PlayStation 1 version. So if you could play the console versions over this one, they're definitely better. But this one is actually really good too. So don't pass it up if you have the opportunity to play it. Next up is World Racing. This was released for the Xbox in America, but for PS2, it only came out in Europe. This is pretty much a racing sim. It kind of got mixed reviews back in the day from what I heard, but it's a pretty decent game from what I played of it. So, yeah, I doubt anybody will go as far as to try to get the PAL PS2 version of the game, but it is available for the regular Xbox if you like this type of game. And next up, we have Cruis'n Blast for the Switch. So if you're familiar with the Cruis'n USA series, this is a sequel to that series. It's been a long time coming. The last game we got was pretty much back, I believe, back in like 2007, 2008 on the Wii. And that one was just called Cruis'n. A lot of people don't even know about that game. But still, happy 13 years later, we got this game. And it pretty much just takes the series even further from what it was. It keeps all the stuff that you know and are familiar with and just takes off with it. The only thing I could say that I was disappointed with this game is that it doesn't have an online mode you can play with other people. But that would be pretty wacky now that I'm thinking about it. So maybe it's good that that's not included. Unless this was ported to probably the PS4 or maybe even the PS5. You never know. The online capabilities might be easier on those systems. But I don't know how netcode works, so who knows. But anyways, guys, this game is something that you all should pick up. Seriously, if you're familiar with old arcade racing, how much fun it was, how doing crazy moves and crazy stunts and just going really fast, this game is right up your alley.
First place.
Next up is Déraciné. This is my first VR game, and I have pretty much all the tools except the VR itself. So eventually, I will have to get VR to play this game. I was hoping maybe one day when I get the PS5, I would get that VR camera. But I heard that that VR camera does not work with the PS4 game, so that's kind of annoying. So anyways, guys, if you have played this game, let me know what I'm getting into.
Whoa. Ah, sorry.
What? The bookmark I had here is gone.
Fairy, kind fairy, can you hear me? If my voice travels to the place where time stands still, then please, won't you be friends with us? Please?
Magi Nation is a game that was released back in 2000. It was based off a popular, well, you know, it wasn't a popular card game. It maybe lasted 2 or 3 years, and then it just like fell off. Now, this is pretty much a dungeon crawler RPG. Has a lot of story to it, explaining how things go with the series and stuff like that. I have not really played it that much, even though I owned it a long time ago, and I actually traded it to a friend because I fell off from it. But recently, I got it through a trade, so I wanted to try it out again. So hopefully, I'll get through this game this time. But you guys in the comments, let me know if you heard this game, if you played it, and what do you think about it. Here is Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack. This comes with the first 2 games in the series, and they are fantastic. So if you're familiar with a company called Indie Crates, or not familiar with Indie Crates, they used to work on a lot of Mega Man titles back in the early days, and they decided to branch off on their own and start making their own games. Their first IP that I know of actually was Gunvolt, but it might have been an earlier one as well. But anyway, well, at least their first own IP in America, I believe, was Gunvolt. But anyways, going to the gameplay. If you're familiar with games like Mega Man, especially Mega Man X series, this game is right up your alley. Seriously, there's so many good things I could say about this game, and if I did go through all of them, this video would probably be like an hour long. But by seeing the gameplay here, you're knowing what you're getting into. Also, just to let you guys know that the sequel is coming out next year, and this will probably become more popular as it's a physical. So it's available on the Switch, 3DS, and the PS4. And the spin-off game, Luminous Avenger, actually has a game coming out next year as well. You guys should check out. So anyways, guys, Azure Striker Gunvolt series, Luminous Avenger. These are fantastic games that you must own if you like action platformers.
以前倒した
あなたがここに来ることは星の語りかけによって分かっていました復縁の時間
金色の髪を燃やしたぜ
Next up is Bloodstained Curse of the Moon Part 2. This game is a surprising sequel that I didn't know was going to come out, and it's finally out as a physical. I'm sure by now these games don't really need an introduction, but if you haven't played this series or heard of it, it is pretty much like a spiritual successor to the Castlevania series, and this one pretty much is a throwback of the old school 8-bit games, but really well done. You can switch between characters that you rescue during the game, or you can leave them behind, kind of like reminiscent of Castlevania 3, but thankfully not as hard as Castlevania 3. Now, the standard version of this game will be available at Best Buy pretty soon. They don't have a release date yet, but I implore people, if you want to pick this game up, if you don't want to get a digital copy, go get your copy at Best Buy. And finally, I have my holy grail item, Captain Commando for the original PlayStation. So if you guys don't know about Captain Commando, it is a future Final Fight game. It's in the same world. And pretty much it's just a simple beat 'em up, but it's really a lot of fun, has a lot of cool characters. This game was popular in the arcades for a while, and then it came out on Super Nintendo, which that was a horrible port. The PlayStation port at the time was the best port. It pretty much, I would say, is like a 90%, like almost arcade perfect port. You can play up to 3 players from the start, but they say there's a secret code that lets you unlock 4-player. But probably if you unlock that, the game would have a bit of slowdown, especially with 3 players. But I haven't seen any slowdown with it, so I think it's cool. This is a really good port of the game. Alright everyone, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Another pickups video out of the way. I'm sorry, I was working on some other videos I wanted to show you guys, but these pickups came through, so I had to show them because I don't want to add them to the epic, massive pickups video that's coming out sometime in the future. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Radical Reggie, and I will see you all later.